With this lens, you can go from this with the kit lens to this beautiful, creamy, blurry background. Let's check out the Sigma 16mm f1.4. I've already mounted it on my camera, but let's start with the unboxing today on Markus Presents. This is a wide-angle lens for mirrorless APS-C cameras. You can get it for Sony E-mount, Fuji X-mount, Micro Four Thirds, Leica L-mount, Nikon Z-mount, or the Canon EFM mount. That's what I got for my Canon M50. The price of the lens is usually around $400 US, and there's a link to it in the description below the video. As we open up the box, there's warranty information, a warranty card, the instruction manual, and a warranty sticker. The lens itself comes in this egg carton type protective enclosure. This I like. This seems environmentally friendly. Inside, we have the lens and the lens hood, pretty straightforward. I always keep the lens hood on the lens, mostly to protect the glass from bumps. The lens itself is sleek and black. It feels substantial in my hand. The lens weighs 415 grams. You get a lens cap for the front and for the rear. When I place my camera on a table, the lens is heavy enough to tilt the whole thing forward. In my case, I use a small rig cage on my Canon M50. This means that the camera is resting partly on the front of the lens or the lens hood. This lens looks great, but what about the image it produces? Right now, you're looking at the video from the Sigma 16mm mounted on my Canon M50 Mark I. The distance to the lens is less than arm's length. I can easily reach out and touch the lens right there. My lighting situation is that I'm using the Amaran 60D. It's mounted up here on my right, and I have the aperture lantern diffuser attached. That is also very close to the lens. I can actually touch it right here, and there too, I'm touching it just outside the frame. I have a window behind me, as you can see, and I do have one in front of me as well, but the blinds are almost completely closed. Here are some other video clips that I've shot with the Sigma 16mm lens. This is content that I've shot for my travel review channel. It's called Markus Travels, and I have a link to that below the video as well. Shooting these travel review videos has actually become my main use for this lens. But I originally got the lens to do talking head videos like this, and it is great for that. But I find that this lens really shines in low light situations. That f1.4 aperture really makes a huge difference when filming indoors. This is particularly the case for hotel reviews for my travel channel. Hotels are surprisingly dark. I've also used this lens to shoot some airline review videos, and especially when they turn down the lights in the cabin, it's so nice to have that extra low light capability of the f1.4 aperture. Another benefit of this lens, specifically for travel reviews, is that it creates that beautiful blurry background. And this is actually very important for privacy reasons. Whenever I'm filming at the airport, on board the aircraft, or on a train, I don't want to film other people, but they are there. You can't help it. Luckily, with the shallow depth of field that this lens creates, it already blurs out most of the things that's happening behind me already in the camera. That may be a little bit difficult for me to explain to the people who might be in the shot unwantedly, but at least when I produce it, I know that they are probably going to be heavily blurred. The EasyJet gate agent told me to stop filming. Luckily, all of the passengers behind me are completely blurred, thanks to the lens I'm using. While I primarily use this lens for video work, I've also used it for photography. And I do love this kind of blurry background that the f1.4 aperture creates. This has worked really well for product shots, for some of my product review videos, as well as some beauty shots for the travel channel. If you're getting value, please hit the like button. Thank you for doing that. I like this lens. The main pro is the great image quality. I think both the photos and the videos look excellent. The autofocus also works well and is speedy. I also like the Sigma build quality. This feels like a well-built, substantial lens. The potential cons of this lens would depend on your use case. For vlogging, for example, and I've seen this in my travel videos, the field of view is a little bit too tight in some situations. Here's an example from a wider lens. This is the Canon EFM 11-22mm. I also find that the lens is too heavy for extended vlogging. Plus, there is no image stabilization. Also, when I'm recording this video, I'm not using any in-camera image stabilization. You can actually see it just by touching my microphone stand. The whole desk shakes, and so does the camera. And if I just bump my desk a little bit like this, the shake is pretty significant. I think I need a better mounting solution than the Sirui desk stand that I'm using. But when you mount this lens in a studio, on a tripod, none of those cons actually matter. It is a great lens. Learn more about pricing and availability with the link in the description below the video. And when you order it, make sure that you get the right mount for your camera, because it's available for so many different camera manufacturer mounts. This 16mm lens is the second Sigma lens that I've bought because I was very happy with the first one. That was the 56mm lens that I use for my comedy shows, both for video and for photos. Click or tap the screen up here to watch my full review about that 56mm lens, or down here for that Canon 11-22mm lens that I mentioned. Thank you very much for watching Markus Presents, and I will see you in the next video.